Howdy! This is Universe Classic Series Powerglide. I'll say right now that I'm not interested in any of the Voyager Unicron Trilogy repaints. Heavy Load is just ugh. And Blaster, though he actually looks okay, should have been a new mould. Powerglide's an Ultra Class figure, which is of course a major step up from his last toy. The Alt mode is a modified A10 Thunderbolt with a realistic colour scheme. There are some red accents to break things up and, in a way, make him more G1-ish, but it's still fairly dull. The Henkei release will have a cartoon-accurate paint job. There are some of these markings on various parts of the jet. They add to the realism, but as far as I know don't reference anything. His mould detailing is well done, especially with the panel lines around the body. He's generally proportionate to the real thing, but the nose is shaped a little differently to avoid license issues. And apart from the front of the fists and this waist piece, there are no awkward robot extras either. The seams make it fairly obvious how he transforms though. The gun can be displayed two ways in this mode. There's this, which allows the missile to be fired, though the waist piece gets in the way of it aiming straight ahead. Then there's this, where the moulding resembles some kind of rotary cannon. The extra doesn't get in the way as much this time, but nor does the weapon itself do anything this way. Like a fair number of jet transformers, he has retractable landing gear. 3 in this case. They support him very well, despite his size and bulk. Finally, he has some electronics in this mode. If you press this button, you get 3 sounds which are repeated in a cycle. One of the jet taking off, one of a flyby, and one of some gunfire. His cockpit and engines light up with each sound. But it's the latter where the batteries are stored. The new Universe figures seem to have interesting transformations, and Powerglide is no different. And you're likely to activate his sounds along the way. When connecting the torso to the waist, you get the forward transformation sound. And when disconnecting, you get the reverse sound. Ignoring the colours, the robot design is definitely recognisable as Powerglide's. The underwing mounts form the arms, and the wings fold up against the body. But perhaps the most G1 accurate part of him is the head sculpt, which is even coloured correctly. He's fairly solid, though you've got this big kibble piece hanging from his back which doesn't look like anything in this mode. Also, the wings don't lock that securely into the engines. This isn't as bad as Movie Brawl's shoulders, but that's probably not possible. For a character who was originally a mini-bot, he puts the classic Seeker mold to shame in terms of sheer height. His articulation in theory is great, but he has a bulky torso and very narrow hips, both of which can make him prone to falling over. As another proportion oddity, his arms are pretty thin, but at least these have a good range of motion. The sound button can still be pressed, but you only get the gunfire sounds this time. As for other features, if you flip his chest panel up, you can see the heart which hints the episode The Girl Who Loved Powerglide. It's unpainted, but that's easily taken care of. Finally, the gun fits in his hand solidly, and I'm pretty sure it's meant to be displayed this way only. The missile fires well, and that's about it for weaponry. Overall, despite his problems, Powerglide's still a pretty good figure. I imagine many are waiting for the G1 Accurate Henkei release, but that will cost quite a bit more, so if the higher price bothers you, spring for this one instead. Next I'm looking at Beast Wars Talker. Until then, till all are one.